you have an awesome week. Sorry I haven't put out a video out in a while. Sorry my face looks a little dark. I don't know if it's where the lighting is. This room is kind of dim. This is my den, um, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys some things. I'm also expecting a few records to come in from Amazon that I ordered, um, that I'll be getting in. One, I haven't placed the order for it yet, but it's in my cart, and I've got to place the order for it. The other one was supposed to be in today. It's coming tomorrow, and I kind of don't want to wait to show you guys something new or something different. I don't have any new vinyl yet to show you, but I do have some really cool movies, um, horror films. I'm a big horror film guy. Me and my wife. Sorry, guys. I sprained my wrist um, about 3 weeks ago, and it still hurts. I can still use it, but doctor said that some sprains can take months to heal. So I'm hoping that this heals soon. I feel pretty good. I can still lift things with it. Sometimes it hurts or feels a little bit sore. Uh, the second or third day I had it, no, third day I had it, it was throbbing. So it was really painful, and I had to wear a brace for a while. Every once in a while, when my hand really hurts, I'll put a brace on. But I've been feeling pretty good. Um, some movies that I kind of wanted to show you guys. Um, like I said, me and my wife are real big horror fans, so and my daughter too. So I wanted to show you guys this stuff. But real quick, you know what? Let me show you guys something else that that I've had since I was a kid. I think you guys would appreciate this, those of you who like this band. It's an old striper patch, and as you can tell, it's kind of worn. I had it on the back of my leather and jean jacket for a while, but I got this at a flea market when I was a little kid. Um, so pretty cool. I found it and I was like, wow, never showed this off before. So thought I'd show you guys. And then I'm also wearing my Dracula shirt because I'm a big Universal Monsters horror fan. So let me go ahead and start out. Movies I grew up with. I grew up with a lot of Universal Monsters, and so I'm a huge fan of that. And also Hammer horror films, which are the British horror films with Christopher Lee, things like that. I'm a big Vincent Price fan. Unfortunately, I don't have any Vincent Price films, which is kind of next on my list to pick up. But I've been trying to put my money aside for a record show coming up, and haven't gotten any vinyl sleeves yet because everybody's sold out. So I'm still, you know, working and maybe picking up some new stuff. But the first film I wanted to show you guys, this is from, I'm not wearing my glasses, and I should have got my glasses because I cannot see. You guys, The Shining. This movie I scares the living daylights out of me even till today. I mean, when I saw it when I was a kid, I was holy smokes. So this to me is one of the scariest movies ever made. Uh, I mean, this is an incredible film, The Shining. So let me move on to this one. This one is from a series called Midnight Madness, and I actually have two of these movies on other DVD discs, but this one contains The Land That Time Forgot, The People That Time Forgot, um, Panic in Year Zero, which is a great film, and this one is The Last Man on Earth, which is a Vincent Price film actually. So I do have, I think it's like one of the few Vincent Price films that I do have, but it is a 2 CD set, DVD set. Very cool, very awesome to have. Very excited. Midnight Movies. I got this for like $5. Now this one I bought a long time ago, but I still really like it. It's really creepy. Still have the price on it, but The Mothman Prophecies. It's a creepy movie, and actually I've read a book. I have a book about ghosts and aliens and monsters. And in this movie, there's the Mothman named Indrid Cold, which is actually the name taken from an alien being in one of the books that I was reading. This man encountered a creature, a man named Indrid Cold, and they put it in this movie. So now this is probably this is a documentary, and it's one of my favorites because it's great. Sci-Fi Boys. This movie goes and talks about the Ray Harryhausen um, films that he made, the famous Monsters of Filmland magazines, which I do have, and I'll show you my horror stuff. I still have horror comics and horror magazines and stuff like that. So it's just it's a great film. Talks about all the influences of modern day directors from Lord of the Rings, things like that. So this is a great one. Now, when I told you I loved Hammer horror, yeah, I'm not playing around. I love Hammer horror. This is Dracula, Prince of Darkness, The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which is kind of like a kung fu movie with Christopher Lee, and the Frankenstein created woman. And some of the sound bites in some of these films Rob Zombie uses in his movies. So I think it's in the next one. But this is Hammer, the Hammer 3 Horror Classics collection. So there's that one. This is another Hammer horror from TCM, Turner Classic Movies, the greatest film classics from Hammer horror. And it's got Dracula has risen from the grave, the horror of Dracula, the curse of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein must be destroyed. So this is really cool. It's a 2 DVD set. Now this one is considered science fiction, but was also it's kind of weird. This is a complete film now that came out. It is the Metropolis Blu-ray from Kino, and this is the complete. This is an incredible movie made in the 1920s. It's a German film, silent film. It is a great film, and I love this film. The sets are epic. I mean, what they did in this film was groundbreaking, and it's just an amazing film. So I kind of include that in my horror collection because it was kind of horrifying as a kid when I saw that. I do have more of these, but I'm going to show you these for right now because the other one's in the other stack. But Godzilla. Godzilla is one of my favorite monsters. I grew up on Godzilla, and I love Godzilla. So got some Godzilla shirts, about 3 of them. But I love this new movie, this Godzilla movie. It's one of my favorites. Loved it. The new one that came out, I think they did great. I don't really think that 1990 something Godzilla Americanized came out, and I did not like that one. So as a matter of fact, in one of the Godzilla films, the Japanese versions, they pit this Godzilla against the Godzilla from the 1990s film, and he like blows him out of the water. So this one is a triple feature Blu-ray of, I don't know if you guys know this, of Gamera, the Gamera trilogy. It's got Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, Gamera 2, Attack of the Legion, and Revenge of Iris, Gamera 3. So these are really cool films. It's a Blu-ray box set. These are, like I said, they're really cool. The effects are just awesome. And there's the film. I was a little kid growing up watching Godzilla and Gamera. So, and there's the other one. So pretty cool. I've seen these quite a few times. I haven't seen them recently, and I've got to get back into watching them again. Now, something I have here, I cannot. If you're a horror movie fan, especially Universal Monsters movie fan, you must have these in your collection. There are the Munsters, the season 1 and season 2 box set. So I actually bought this separately. Here's something interesting. I got this one for like $8. And I was like, man, I really need season 1. I couldn't find season 1. So I found this for $8. A week later, I went to Barnes & Noble, and they had this for like $10. So now I have both of them. So pretty cool. I love the Munsters. my favorite show from this era. So there it is. Like I said, if you're a Universal Monsters fan, you've got to have the Munsters. Another TV show that you have to have if you're a horror film fan, and some people don't consider this horror, but some of these episodes are very horrific to me. But it's the Twilight Zone. This is season 2, the definitive edition. It's got a ton of films on here, but one of my favorites is The Obsolete Man. Um, that's just a great, great, great episode. The Long Distance Call. Um, let me see. There is one, and I don't know if I have it on this one. I have The Beholders on here, and the people with the pig faces. Yeah, that's horror. That was scary to me. There's one that's not on here, but I'm looking to get it. It's where this lady sees herself like a doppelganger on in a bus depot, and it's just really weird, very strange, and I love that episode. It's one of my favorites. If you're a horror film fan, you have to have Ray Harryhausen's The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. This stars, I'm sorry, Caroline Munro, who is also in the video Goody Two Shoes with Adam Ant. So she's in there. She's also a Bond girl. But this is a great film. I do have one of the Ray Harryhausen toys. I have Talos on my wall. And pretty cool, Sinbad. Saw those when I was a kid and really inspired by them. This is Jason and the Argonauts, a Ray Harryhausen collection, and this does have, I believe, Talos in it. But Talos is that, giant that's like a soldier, and he's got a spear and a sword, and he's really cool. So I have that large version, on my wall. Pretty cool, big toy. So there it is, Jason and the Argonauts. Great film. Now, I've told you about the Godzilla stuff that I do have, so I'm trying to sift through it and make sure I've got all of it, because there are quite a bit that I do have. So let's go through them. Godzilla. Final Wars. When I was a kid, that's what we saw on TV every Saturday. So this is where he fights all the monsters, Gigan or Gigan and Mothra. It's a great film. I do have Godzilla on Monster Island. It's pretty cool. Godzilla versus Gigan, or Gigan. Gigan. I say Gigan. So, Godzilla 2000. I remember when this came out in theaters. Get ready to crumble. Godzilla versus Mothra. Mothra's very, very popular. And Godzilla's Revenge. Pretty cool. I've got some films from the 80s. Well, let me do this one, because this is a Hammer horror, I believe. This is The Mummy. The Mummy with Christopher Lee. This is just an epic film, a great film. Really enjoyed it. And let me go through my 80s stuff here. Oh yes, I do have another Hammer horror. The Hammer horror series 8 film collection with the Brides of Dracula. Curse of the Werewolf is a great Wolfman film, or horror film. It's got Curse of the Werewolf, The Phantom of the Opera, Paranoid, The Kiss of the Vampire, Nightmare, Night Creatures, The Evil of Frankenstein. So I already have The Evil of Frankenstein, but this is a very cool set, box set, or DVD set. Sorry, not box set, but DVD set. The Hammer horror series. Always wanted it in my collection. Finally have it. This is great. Let's go into the 80s films here, because I did show The Shining, which came out in late 70s, I think. But this one is Poltergeist. Probably the scariest of all the Poltergeist films. My wife hates the second one with the preacher in it with that smile and everything else. But very famous. Unfortunately, the little girl passed away. But there's a lot of bad things going on with these series, these movies. A lot of bad stuff happened to the crew and things like that, and some of the stars of the shows, of the movies. So, if you're a kid, this was probably Disney's first horror film. Ray Bradbury's "Something Wicked This Way Comes." This is just great. I've been looking for the soundtrack on vinyl, can't find it, but this is a great '80s film, and it's about two little kids, and a carnival comes to town, and it freaks them out. So, Dr. Dark, I think is Dark's Pandemonium, something like that. But I haven't seen it in a while, but I got to see it again. And then, of course, The Monster Squad. This is a great film. Love this one. Very entertaining. It's just a lot of fun. You see this film, it takes you back to the 80s. I tell you that much. This is a great film. All right. Let's see what else I have. Here's a film that my wife loves because she loves this character. And I really like the film too. It's Trick or Treat. My wife loves Sammy. His name is Sam. So my wife really likes him. She has some of his figures and toys and stuff like that. So Trick or Treat, it's a good film. For kids though. The horror classics from TCM. This is another one. And it has the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It has Freaks, which is a really freaky movie box set. The Haunting, and the original Haunting, and The House of Wax with Vincent Price. So yeah, I just trying to remember. I thought I didn't have a lot of his films, but I do. It's been a while since I've seen these, so I've got to catch up on watching them. The House of Wax is a pretty creepy film. This one's science fiction, but there are some horror elements in it. But I'll show it anyway. This one has TCM's greatest classic films of science fiction: The Time Machine, Soylent Green, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Forbidden Planet. I love that film. So right in there. I'm going to do these two because, like I said, I'm a Universal horror film fan, and I do like these movies. They didn't do very well in theaters, but I do like it. Dracula Untold, I do like this film. It's not a great film, but I do like it. It's got some great parts, and I think they did it really well. And they left it open for a sequel, but unfortunately, the Universal Pictures Dark Universe, what they called it, just totally dropped everything. And there's after the Mummy, they did the Mummy. They said they're putting the Bride of Frankenstein on hold and trying to regroup. So I think with these movies, they don't really capture the mystery and the essence of the original Universal monster films. And those are in black and white, so. And I really like this one. I really did, because it did feel that way. It felt like they captured some of the essence of the original Universal monster films. Was The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins. This is the unrated director's cut. I really like this movie. I really, really, really like this movie. I really enjoyed it. This has the unrated version and the theatrical version. So this is the mask that I have on my wall. So I'll show that to you guys later. A film that I like, it's a Hammer horror film as well. It's The Woman in Black. The first one is the best one. I really enjoyed this film. Very dark, and it had that Hammer feel to it. So. I'm just going over stuff. Here's a movie that came out, I believe, in the 80s. Young Frankenstein. Great film. Makes me laugh every time we see it. We watch it close to Halloween, and we all get a kick out of it. It's a great film. Everybody laughs. Can't help but laugh every time. This is the Fox Horror Classics Volume 2. It does have Bela Lugosi in Shandu, which was an old radio drama. And it has Dragon Wick with Vincent Price and Dr. Renault's Secret. So these are, you can see that it's great, great cover art on these. Very vintage, very classic. So Vincent Price is very young here, so there he is down here. But these are the Fox Classics Horror Volume 2. I wish I had Volume 1, but not yet. These are 5 original cult classics. Now they're in pretty good shape. What I mean is some DVDs you buy and they look like they were recorded from the television and put on DVD, but these are okay. It has a White Zombie, Bela Lugosi and Devil Bat, The Bat with Vincent Price, The Last Man on Earth, second time with Vincent Price, and The House on Haunted Hill, the original one, which is a pretty weird movie, pretty freaky. So, and then here's another one. Is The House on Haunted Hill and The Last Man on Earth. So I basically have like 3 or 4 copies of this on other you know, collections. So, something that you guys probably haven't seen. I saw it when I was a kid, stuck with me. I'm sorry, my video quit here, but I don't know if I showed this guys to you. The House on Haunted Hill and The Last Man on Earth. I'd have to go back and look over the tape, or the video, sorry, say tape. So 80s. So here's another one. But I don't know if you guys remember this. I saw this when I was a kid. This is a very long movie. Frankenstein, The True Story. And you might recognize her. She was, she was on that show, Medicine Woman, something Medicine Woman. And she was very young. I don't remember her name. But the gentleman who plays the 4th Doctor Who, or 5th Doctor Who, Tom Baker, it comes out in this film. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, but this is called Frankenstein, The True Story, and there's a scene in here where Dr. Frankenstein makes this guy, he makes him good looking and everything else, and his skin starts to rot and he starts turning ugly. And so he makes this woman, and I'll give you a spoiler here. He gets very jealous and he notices that she has stitches around her neck, and he rips her head off at a ball, and he throws it at the people. So it's pretty, yeah. This is a horror film, a fantasy horror, but it's Pan's Labyrinth. It's in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish very well, so I have to read the subtitles. But this is a very, very weird and scary film. I mean, there's some freaky stuff in this film. It's by Guillermo del Toro, but yeah, it's pretty good, pretty good film. And 2 last films. Well, actually, there's a few more, but this is Universal. Frankenstein double feature. It's the House of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. And in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, that's actually Bela Lugosi playing Frankenstein. So pretty weird, you know, because you're used to seeing him as Dracula. But yeah, the House of Frankenstein and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. And I know Boris Karloff in this one does not play Frankenstein. He felt he was too old and couldn't play the creature well enough. But that's Universal Horror. And here's another one. Comedy Legends, Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers, the Creepers are after Bud and Lou and Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So this is the very famous one where Bela Lugosi comes out. Glenn Strange plays Frankenstein, and Lon Chaney Jr. plays a Wolfman. This is a great film. I love it. I've looked for it for years and finally have it in my possession. Very excited to have it, and I love watching it. And last but not least, if you're a Monsters fan, especially classic horror films, you have to have this box set. The Universal Monsters. There's one that's actually a coffin, but this is the regular one. It does come with little postcards that are posters, but it also comes with a booklet, the House of Horror, the original House of Horror, and it talks about all the films on there and their production and everything that went into them. So there's the Wolfman, and it comes out. It's a box set. Of course, you can see Frankenstein there. You can see the Mummy, and as you open it up, you see Dracula and the Invisible Man. And this, of course, opens up into a viewing of all the Blu-rays. So I'm disappointed in a few things here. I wish that it had the original Phantom of the Opera silent film. I don't have that one. I'm trying to find it, and it doesn't. It has the 1960 version of Phantom of the Opera. So, that's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the films. It is a good film, but it's not the original. So the Phantom of the Opera is one film that I wish I could get my hands on, and also Nosferatu. So that one is just creepy. Those are my horror films, and I will show you guys some posters that I have. So, and I'll take you on a little tour of that. So right after this, or right now. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye. These are my figures. You can see the Monsters coach here. And then I do have a werewolf mask from the recent movie, The Werewolf. That came out a few years ago with Benicio del Toro. Here's my Boris Karloff, The Mummy movie poster replica. And here is Famous Monsters of Filmland, Gamera versus Godzilla. And here's another replica poster. It's a smaller poster of Frankenstein. Bela Lugosi and Dracula, Metropolis, and The Time Machine. And Peter Cushing, the great Peter Cushing from Famous Monsters. Here I have some movie posters from Star Wars. Of course, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And here's an original movie poster of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I just thought I'd show you guys that. And I'll move on. These are some replica movie posters of Day of the Triffids, The Day the Earth Stood Still. And these came in the Universal Monsters Blu-ray set. And of course these are little cards. You see the Phantom of the Opera, smaller version of the Mummy, Invisible Man. And some of you might know this gentleman here who played Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Some of you don't know this, but see, I've been drawing blanks today. In Creature of the Black Lagoon, Part 2, The Return of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, you can see a very young Clint Eastwood in the film. So, Lon Chaney and the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, and there's the Bride of Frankenstein. And for you 80s kids, this is the Monster Squad and Stranger Things, which my kids love. It's a very 80s film. It's based in the 80s, so when you see it, you kind of brings back a lot of memories. So this is the wall decor that I have in my home.